it's Dino, and this is our second live stream, and it's going to be a short one. We're just going to give it a quick test. We've added some new features here, and what I put in place is that I've modified the DigitSpin chat to be on the left side here and make it clear, more clearly able to be read, and we'll see how that turns out. Additionally, now I can actually pick the different chats and questions and be able to place them up there so we can see what we're talking about at that same time. So let's move the camera over here. Okay, so you like that layout? Matt was saying that he likes the new layout. I thought it was kind of clever, so I can pick this and send it right out to it. And obviously you got the typo there, Matt, because you're Luke, I am your father. I Luke the layout. But we all know what he's trying to say. You can't beat that. All right. Now, I wanted to introduce you to my my new automated partner. And you know, he's been near and dear to my heart. I like this guy for a long time. British guy, so don't put anything against him. But say hello to Mr. Bean. Hey! Alright, so he's going to be joining us once in a while and chiming in because I'm a Mr. Bean fan on stuff that goes on. So if there's anything funny or unique, he'll definitely come out and tell me what he thinks about it at all times. Alright. Yeah, we've added some neat new stuff. I think we even got our if we detect anything crazy or nonsensical, we can call it right out with the DJ horn, which is important. And of course, we always have our explosions and other stuff. I'll be adding more special effects as we go along, so I think this will be pretty good. So Matt, I know that you're out there. Did you have any specific questions? Otherwise, I'm going to go right into a couple of things here. Well, actually, let me start with a few things. I was noticing on the coin market cap, Electroneum's doing 4%. This is a good thing. And the reason why I'm pretty excited about Electroneum being up at 414 is that Bitcoin is only up half that. So that's a good plus to see Electroneum expanding further than the Bitcoin change. So that's a good sign. It means it's getting some attention, and it's where we need it to be. And I was taking a look at this for the last week. You know, we did have that downward from that big peak. Let's take a look at that the month here. We had that large peak when all that good news came out, and it fell back down. But we're starting to see some kind of a return as it swings down and then goes back up. So I think we're going to see an upward momentum again. So that's good news. I was also I was asked yesterday about the $70,000 prediction guy. You know, this guy here, the Naga tribe guy, and you know, yeah, he insists that it's going to be $70,000. I think it's great that we have some positive thought processes out there. Don't hold your breath for the $70,000. Right? Do me that favor. But you know, if it ever reached $70,000, this is what would be happening. That'd be the guy dancing around. So let's see here. He's so Matt says that the guy on the Naga video was calling out. Yeah, I heard he did a shout out to you, Matthew. I guess what are you gonna do? What are you gonna say? You know, it is what it is. Let's take a look here. Matt has a question here. Let's bring up this unless you have some content. All right. Did you do the interview? All right. So Matt's asking how I like the interview with Crypto NWO. So in case anybody doesn't know about that, if you go out to our site, and we'll take a look at the channel and our videos. Crypto NWO and myself got together and did a dual interview. If you haven't seen that, you're going to want to do that. You'll see part 2 on our website at DigitSpin. And if you click on it or go right to Crypto NWO, you'll see part 1, and might want to check that out. It's part 1's about 45 minutes. I got the leftover part 2 of it, not the leftover, but the last part of it, which happens to be greater than 45 minutes. So it's a long listen, so make sure you have some time if you do that. Now, as far as the actual interview itself, it was a lot of fun. I have to admit, I expected, we both talked about doing about 30 minutes, because we were even thinking about going live with it, but that didn't happen, and the communication was so good behind the scenes. He's very entertaining to listen to. He gets really wrapped up in what he's doing. I enjoy having him together on the screen with me, so we had a blast, and hopefully you had a chance to see that and get some feedback on that. So, which is pretty good. All right, let's take a look. Now, I wanted to bring up, because today was for today being Sunday, the gainers and losers. Now, I know that Crypto NWO is always talking about this Dorado, and today it's up almost 40%. So, sell. If you can, if Crypto NWO, if you're listening, take your 40%. I don't know if it's going to be up that much tomorrow. So you definitely want to try to get that money if you can. That's important. I don't know most of these other coins that have hit these. Now, Super Bitcoin, geez, there's probably a million Bitcoins out there. Haven't seen that one. Space Chain. That's interesting. I haven't came across that. But you have these coins here. These are all 0x. Obviously 0x is being used by Coinbase, and it's come under a lot of popular review, and that's up 20%. And I have a feeling, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's up 20%. Let's see. Charter, Primus. All right, so a lot of these, some of them I've never even heard of. Some of them I have, but you're looking anywhere from 12 to 100% increase today for Sunday for some of these coins. On the losers, we got Bitcoin Green. You always got to have another Bitcoin in there. Bitcoin Green. I think this was the one that's the way they mine it. They're trying to be energy efficient in its use. Let's see, what else we got here? Golos. I had Golos, but I never had Golos Gold, so I'm not sure what Golos Gold is. I'll have to look into that. Whale Coin, self-sell. See, again, most of these I've never came across. There's so many coins that come out on a constant basis that it's hard to keep up with everything. But hopefully you don't own any of these coins, and you own some of these. Now, I was talking about 0x. Why was I talking about 0x? And the reason why I think that this hit a 20% today is very specifically because of this. Now, Coinbase is talking. For some reason they've been talking lately about some of the coins that they plan to put on the Coinbase environment, And coins that make it there obviously have a big advantage, being that almost probably the biggest chunk of all the money that comes into the crypto market space comes through Coinbase. So when they see those coins there, a lot of times people will buy it. And if you take a look, which I thought was interesting, let's see if we could blow this up a little bit more. They announced just yesterday, so I'm not sure if it made it into the news, that they're going to be adding Cardano. I'm shocked that Cardano's not already bouncing. The price is cheap right now, and I like Cardano big time, real big time. You got Basic Attention Token, Stellar Lumens, Zcash, 0x. All right. So if you're watching the show, you're going to be the first one to know this type of stuff. And before Monday shows up, if you're picking up any of these coins before the news gets out there, because you know every one of those other channels are going to talk about these coins being added, and once it becomes public knowledge, you're going to get a little bump on it. So it's definitely something to think about if you have some extra Bitcoin to put down on some of these coins. Not only is it a nice bump, these are solid coins, each one of them. Cardano being a full infrastructure coin, you know, similar to Ethereum. The Basic Attention, which is used in the Brave browser, has become real big and popular. Stellar Lumens, basically it's a clone or a similar product to Ripple without it being centralized, so it's decentralized. And I used to laugh when I bought Stellar Lumens in December. I just kept saying, "Who buys aluminum? Stellar Aluminums," and you know, the little rocket ship and all that stuff. But it turned out it was a serious project, and I wish I would have kept my coins. I sold them off when I made some profit. Anyway, Zcash, which is brown, and 0x. So something to look forward to as you go along. Let's take a look at the chat again, and let's see what we got here, Matt. Matt's talking about. Matt says here, lots of people are saying that we're in a small bull run. Okay. And in about a week, others are talking about a big bull run in September. So I think Matt's right. I think that we're going to see a little bit of excitement happening. It's very possible, and we'll get a money drop. I don't know. It's we're definitely on an upward trend at the moment, though very slightly. And there's a lot of folks that keep saying, a lot of technical analysts that keep saying that they are expecting a drop. You know, I kind of watch a lot of the different guys just to kind of see what the general consensus is. And what I've noticed is when everybody says it's going to drop, it usually kind of goes up. And vice versa. So who knows where it's actually going to go. As of the moment, we have a slight increase, and hopefully we'll get something bigger and better to come forward, which will be kind of nice. All right, so we got ETN update. Yes. Welcome to the channel. They're 7114. All right. So that's the big good stuff here. Now, I was taking a look. Now, obviously, all of you know that I've been using the ASIC miner, and that's been a lot of fun. I've had some weird things with my network environment. If I take the thing, I have it set up in my office, and which is nice, but it's loud. You know, it's loud, louder than a fan. Not as loud as it could be, but it's louder. And so I wanted to move it upstairs and put it in a different place. And as I try to do this, every time I take it and I move it, it doesn't want to communicate across the network. But if I put it back downstairs in my office, it's happy and fun, and it just starts running. Um, Obviously, there's something weird with my routers or something, or I'm gonna have to reset some of the hubs, because obviously something's not going the right way. So do me a favor, also keep in mind to like, comment, and subscribe. If you set that notification bell, you'll get alerted when I do these live streams. This is our second live stream, and it's mainly for testing and to kind of get my footing, to set up the initial video intro, and to set up our new DigitSpin chat, which is kind of exciting here. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll see where it goes. All right. So working with this, the network stats, what I've come across is that they're definitely, remember we were talking about the stitching. They're still trying to do all that good stuff, but because of the amount of ASICs, you can tell here, this is the average. Now, if you blow it up, you do have a little pinging in here, but the average is nice and clean, unlike how it was happening prior, and where it was just a complete mess because of the stitch being so large. With the ASICs, it's just a smaller gap, and really hasn't caused any problems. And I've been just keeping an eye on everything, and it looks clean, it looks good, and we're pretty. I'm pretty excited that everything's working out. Now, as far as coins, let's take a look. What have I been making these days on the delivery of the coins? We're gonna go to that Crypt, my new favorite website when it comes to finding out what's going on with the delivery of coins for my system. Let's go by hashing, and Electroneum will be right up in here. So we'll take a look. So as of right now, see, it's telling me I'm going to get about 970 coins. And the other day it was only 880. So that's telling me that there's people have moved some of their equipment to a different coin temporarily, which allows me to mine a little bit better, a little bit more of the coins. So that's pretty exciting. So hopefully over the next day or so I'll get an extra 100 coins out of it. We're still in that $10 range. That's good. That's kind of where we need to be. I don't see what coins now when you take a look, hey Dino, why aren't you mining this 192 a day on Monero? And the issue there is that this is Kryptonite 7 version, proof of work 7, so you're not gonna be able to mine that with the ASIC. So you have to take a look at these. Now keep in mind, if you're in the chat, feel free to put any types of comments and or questions that you have on any of the information that I'm delivering, and this way I can respond back accordingly. So it's not like I could get $192 because my GPUs, I don't have 300 GPUs that would be able to present this type of hashing power. But chances are you're going to have a lot of people trying to hit the sumo coin because you can get an extra 20% if you're mining and selling right on the spot. So 20% is a significant amount on earnings in a day. And don't see any others here that even Dynasty coin. The problem is you got to have enough volume to be able to sell these coins. You take a look at the the volume. It's $525 or so. It's just, who are you gonna sell them to if there's nobody there to buy it? So all right, let's go back up to Electroneum. So yeah, it's the ASIC's been a lot of fun. It's a lot easier to put and to put up on a shelf. It doesn't take up as much space, and I was shocked that it took up probably half maybe half of the wattage necessary on a six, on a unit that I made, a rig that I made with 6 cards. So it actually takes up less electricity. I was pretty surprised at how little it took up, and I haven't really clocked it over too much. I moved it up about 5%, and I went from 220 kilohash to about 240 kilohash. So that was pretty good. I'm going to play with some of the clocking and maybe tweak it a little bit to get a little extra out of it as I go. All right, so we got Chaz. How you doing there, Chaz? Let's see what Chaz has to say here. All right. So Chaz is asking about the patent. Do you know anybody that can interview to give us better insight about the patent? And what do you think about the implication of the patent system? News has been kind of sparse from Electroneum regarding the patent, except for its release, and they're waiting. And it's not like they can actually provide us any information. We talked about this recently on another video. The patent itself is obviously pending, and it was sent through on through a legal firm called Denton's. And being that they're premier legal firm for patents, they're not gonna. They spend a lot of time evaluating the technology that they're going to patent. They do a lot of the research. They dig it up. They look through it through the patent office just to make sure that there's nothing else that will be claimable against it. And they try to get that up front so that they're pretty confident when they submit it that they have a unique venture, a unique solution that will pass muster when it comes to the guy, hitting the rubber stamp on it. So I would tend to think that even though it's patent pending, that you would have a really, really high chance of success. Weighing it's probably less than 1 or 2% that something could go wrong at this point. I have no idea how long, and it's really not Electroneum's fault or Denton's. When you hand stuff to the government, the government. Exactly, Mr. Bean. The government just takes forever to get things done, and so it'll be what it'll be. And when they approve it, it goes forward from there. I'll try to dig around and ask some questions to Chris Gorman and some others to see if they have any updates on it, because it would be nice to get even a little sentence blurb, even if it's still going good and we're waiting to get some feedback. So that's really where it is. Now, as far as the implications of the patent itself, that's gonna it's gonna definitely lock down the way it works. And I'm planning to do a video based on the information that I have on how this ring system is actually going to work and the process itself. I think initially it's going to. Here's the thing: the biggest thing that's going to happen with the patent is it's going to give a lot of gravitas when they're trying to work up partnerships. When you're going to a phone company or you're trying to put in a module in a store system, you can feel confident when they're talking to them that you should use our product. Why would you use Lightning or this, that, anything? It's not patent protected. It's not. We have a process that's going to be backed. It's legal. We own it. So if you invest in us, nobody can come in and do one better on us using this technology. So we have that intellectual property as part of our asset structure. So that is real key when you're talking to other large corporations. They don't want to put money into you know, a coin or into installing the app for a quick payment system and investing their time and energy to find out that the guy next to him is inventing the same thing and doing something that's similar and does it one better, and everybody, the herd runs over here and then the herd runs over there. They need to know that there's an anchor in place to make sure that their time, energy, and investment isn't going to be lost. So the implication is that it's going to be a lot easier to put a handshake agreement and some signatures on a piece of paper when you're dealing with the larger companies, and that's really key. And that's going to be the biggest implication of the whole thing, is clearly being able to sign deals with confidence. Right, Mr. Bean? So even Mr. Bean agrees here. So he definitely does. All right. Okay. So let's take a look at the chat. All right, no new questions. We'll keep in mind we're going to try to do some more live shows. I'll still have my pre-recorded shows when I have some content, but I'm going to try to do more of the of these types of live so that we can get some more feedback and interaction with the folks out there. Most of the time it'll probably be at night. So in the comments below, if you can write down there what you think, you know, the comments once this goes from streaming to storage, put in there what times you think is best that we should actually do a show. I'd like to try to do one every day, or barring that I miss a day. But you know, what type of prime time do you think would be best? You know, early at 7, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So any of that feedback would be helpful and appreciative, so that I can kind of gauge when folks are available to be able to watch the show, if you're interested at all. So that's important. All right, so let's take a look here. We went over our pricing. We went over our winners and losers. We discussed our earnings for today, and I think that's about all I had on the agenda. So I hope you like the new design. We got one in here. Let's see, DEF CON. Let's see if we can put them up on the screen. Okay. So DEF CON is asking, can you make a live show with the topics of how Electroneum is dependent on Bitcoin price? Now, I think I actually had a video on that. And let me take you over to my YouTube channel here. And if you go down, and we'll see if we can find it here. Why did I buy? I know it's here. It's probably been a while. There it is. So you want to, DEF CON, you want to go over to this here, and you'll see this Electroneum. Why did I buy? Price prediction, zero or moon. And I talk about how Bitcoin really drives the price of all the other coins, and that's because everything is paired to it when it's bought and sold. So when you sell your coin, it ends up going back into Bitcoin, and then from there back into cash. So and then obviously with the pairing, if the price of the Bitcoin goes down, the pairing drags it down with it, and there's really no way around that. So, you know, geez, that's explained pretty much in detail in this particular video, and I'll try to, let me write that down here. I'll put the link in the description, and in case anybody wants to be able to tap into that. That's actually been one of my more popular videos. I have 4.3 thousand views on that, and looks like I've had some good feedback. So hopefully I did a good job explaining that to everybody. So definitely take a look at that video. Oh, all right. So let's get another one here in the chat. This here is from Helly. Where can I buy an ETN ASIC miner and how to install? So not sure where you're located. I don't know if you want to type in there or not. You're welcome, DEFCON. Not a problem. And I appreciate you checking in with us on a Sunday. This was just kind of out of the blue. I was really just going to do a quick test. I didn't expect really anybody to show up on a Sunday afternoon. But where can you get an ASIC? So again, Helly, I'm not sure where you're located. If you want to put it in the chat, I might be able to respond better. Here in the States, there are a lot of little local companies you can go online and search for. I had some success. I personally got my my ASIC now. You can go with either a Bitmain or there's a Bikel. Also makes a decent ASIC. I went with the Bitmain X3, and that worked out really well for me. When they first came out, they were selling them for about $12,000, and they would do these in batches. And the reason why is not that it was worth $12,000, is that they were able to rake you over the coals and charge you that, because since there were little to no ASICs on the system, it gave you such an advantage that you could pull in a significant amount of funds and coins to sell, that you could literally recover your costs in like 2 or 3 months at the most, which is pretty quick to recover hardware costs and get a return on that investment. So they knew this, and they would charge up front for it. And then as the batches, and then the second batch I think was like 6,000, and then the third batch was $2,500. I found after Electroneum changed over and Monero changed over, people pretty much were just getting rid of them, or they weren't selling. Who was going to spend the $2,900? So they obviously sold them cheaper. With Electroneum bringing it back on, I noticed the price start to go back up. However, on Amazon, I think you still can locate new X3 ASICs for about $2,100. Keep in mind, you also have to get the power supply. I went with the Bitmain power supply, and it works really well. That's about another $150. So Helly says she's in Austria, and in the chat. So when it comes to Austria, I don't know. Mr. Bean says he doesn't have a clue. I don't have a clue either. I don't even know where you would begin to find an X3, except because the problem is that even if you could order it from Bitmain, if they had any, they would ship it to you. They haven't made any more batches because of lack of interest and not enough coins out there to take advantage of it. So I have no idea if they're going to make more. So take a look, see if you have Amazon by you or available to you for deliveries, and whatever type of other type of electronic solutions that you have there. I just don't have any other answer for you for that. Amazon Global, Chaz was saying, yeah, I mean, they'll ship it to you. I'm sure they'll ship it to you, and I'm sure they'll charge you whatever the cost is to get it there. And if you're willing to pay the DHL cost, I'm sure it's not so bad. Yeah, but DHL, it's funny. I can have something shipped from China, a box about yay big, and it'll cost me like 29 bucks to ship it from China to here in DHL. But if I want to ship it from here to China, it costs me about $250. Now, don't ask me why. It costs $29 to get here and $250 to get back. But yeah, that's the way it works. So yeah, so Chaz, that's a good suggestion. Maybe Amazon Global might be a good answer for you. I would definitely start there with Amazon and see what you can do and what you can find. And I think that's important. Other videos that I thought were kind of fun regarding our site, we had the crypto deathmatch with Chico Crypto and Superman. That I thought was kind of a fun piece. And let's see, we talked about the instant payment system. I don't think there was anything older or newer. This one was kind of funny.
SpongeBob SquarePants here, and you have to watch DigitSpin Crypto, because they're #1.
There you go. I thought that was funny. And the funny part about it is that I do the SpongeBob voice, which cracks me up. And
hey, it's SpongeBob SquarePants here, and
so I would do all those things, and I would go up to my grandkid, and I'd be like,
"Did you blow bubbles today? Make sure you capture those jellyfish, and watch out for plankton."
And it's funny because as they grow up, SpongeBob is on the phone, and they would laugh and they would call me SpongeBob. For the longest time, the grandkid would call me SpongeBob all the time because I would call him on the phone and pretend I was SpongeBob SquarePants. So I got a kick out of that. And you can take a look. We also had the interview with Knife of Pi. And Knife of Pi is well known in the Monero code base community. He actually is on the Cake Wallet team, so he knows a lot about the code, and he's helped out a lot of different coins, and that was a fun and interesting watch. So if you have a chance, you probably would be entertained by this one and learn some new stuff there. So that's kind of neat. And of course the crypto NWO was a lot of fun also. So take a look at that. Helly says thanks and not a problem, and I wish you guys good luck with that. If anybody else had any other questions, you have time to put them on there now before we close it up. And I hope you guys liked the new design. Are you able to read it fine, and does it look good up on the screen? And hopefully that you like this new pattern and design. I thought it was kind of clever and informational with the chat on the side, so you know about what question we're talking. And it's kind of neat. I can pick out. I get a list of the chats that are coming through. They show up, and then I can then select which one I want to then transfer over to the window display. So I'm hoping this whole process and this whole setup will work really well for a live show. We're also going to be working on a video call in, so we'll be able to give out a URL or a code, and you'll be able to communicate live on a window and chat. So we're going to probably test that at some point in the future also. So keep your eyes open and go forward from there. Now, please do yourself a favor, like, comment, and subscribe down below if you like this type of content, and set that notification bell if you want to be alerted when we go live, so that you can jump on the chat and ask me any types of questions. I'm going to be including a lot more information, not just Electroneum. Some of the things that we're going to talk about are some of the other coins that I like to mine, even things like Loki, WebDollar, and I have a few others that I'll tell you about as time progresses. And I was also looking at possibly some evaluating some new coins that are coming out and whether they're thumbs up or thumbs down, and we'll see where we can go from there. So before we leave, we'll let Mr. Bean do his dance. Now, I don't know if you guys watch Mr. Bean in Europe. I'm sure you have. But I grew up with him, and for some reason I thought he was the funniest thing. He made me laugh. So, we'll check this here, and we're good. All right. I want to thank you, and I will see you next time.